Hello everyone. So we are going to start, and if you have any questions from previous classes, you can let me know.
Just one request. Hope you can hear me.
Come again, please.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Can you hear me?
I can.
Okay.
I can.
Actually, you told, y- yeah, you told like this interview session we will be having on weekends, but actually weekends I have some different plans. So weekends it won't be possible. So if we can do that kind of session like from Monday to Friday only in between somewhere.
Okay. In that case, tomorrow 9 a.m. Is it fine?
Okay. Yeah, sure.
So this is the notebook that we had previously worked on, and in this class, see again just to refer the give the context of this. Uh, in the world of data engineering, we never get the perfect data generated by the sources. Okay, or it might be, or you can also say it like this: the data generated by that particular source is good for use by the same source itself, but when we access or that when we access or try to analyze that data or do some ML practices or build some dashboards in real time, we have to modify our data, join it with some other data sets, or transform that data, clean that data, and this process is called data engineering, or you can say data transformations. Okay, this process has three parts: extract, transform, and load. Okay, extract means the data we are going to extract from the sources. It could be a pull based approach or it could be a push based approach. Okay, pull based approach means that we are fetching data directly in the cloud using some services such as DMS, okay, or maybe some services such as Talent, Informatica, those tools. Okay, these are the examples of pull-based services where we are pulling the data. Okay, where we are taking the data from the databases. Those are running maybe on-premise, maybe on some web servers, maybe on some cloud, or those could be just a web servers, mobile applications, and such things. Okay, or push-based approach means the database itself is pushing the data on targets. For us, target is mostly S3. 80 to 90% of the projects store their data on S3 for the uh, data read and data lake creations. And about this process, I'm going to take a complete detailed lesson in tomorrow's lecture. Before starting on DynamoDB and Redshift, I'm going to take a complete and detailed lecture about this whole process of data engineering, ETLs, data pipelines, data lifecycle. This we are going to discuss tomorrow. Okay. Now we were continuing with our examples of reading files and working with those in a Jupyter notebook on Glue services. Again reminding, do not forget to stop this notebook once you are done. It is not a free service even in the free tier accounts. Am I clear about the charges and other things also? And yes, see, I have saved this notebook, but still I need to read in the cells because now in memory things are gone. That means when I execute a shell, its output is referred in the next shell. So as here I am reading my file, then its output is a data dynamic frame that I was using in the some examples ahead. But if I want to execute these shells, again I have to run the notebook from start. So I can simply just execute my shells. Any questions in meanwhile while this is running? It's just going to take a bit time.
I just have one question. Where, today I gave interview that was for SQL, and they asked only two question, and they were done for the interview. So they were mostly asking about scenario based, typical scenario based, not like rank or in some analytical function or something.
Yes, that's yes.
So where I can practice that?
Okay. What is the question?
Uh,
First,
uh,
can you remember?
uh, I have saved the data set. I will just share in the chat. Uh, just give me a minute. What do I do?
So what he asked? Okay.
He asked like this is the input, and he wanted a sum of amount based on ID, but the country has to be IND. Then in that case only the ID has to come. Like for 102, there is no India is there, so 102 ID should not come as an as output. But 101, in if any one of the uh, 101 set ID in 101 partition, if the India is there, then only they should calculate the sum of amount.
This is very simple, Varsha. And how, like, was it in SQL or Python, or is what like an open choice?
Open choice.
So, okay, if I'm solving this with a data frame, okay, if I'm solving this with a data frame, and what I can do here first, if you see this thing that I have shown you, not this option, if you remember the filter one, which I have shown you, this means, so I can say where country equals to I and A. Okay, I will get this line and this line, these two lines I will get in my next data frame that I'm going to create. Okay, now my countries are filtered. I just need to apply some function.
No, no, no. No, no, no. See, for ID, I mean, from 1 to 3 is 101 is there, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, if 1 to 3, India, US, UK is there. So, for 101, there are three countries. But if one of the country is India, then in that case, issue some the amount of that particular ID. Like for 1 2 3, all the amount has to be sum. I have shared the output also in the next screenshot.
I think you need to do a partition on the country, right?
Yeah.
Partition on the country, otherwise partition on the amount and group by the country, something like that. You have got the output of this version? Output screenshot?
No, I'm still doing it.
Okay, so maybe you can also do it like this. If you do a group by, and if that group is having India, then you do the sum.
Yes, so that I'm actually making the query. So like this kind of typical scenario they are asking now. So I'm going through the YouTube video, but not sure like where to practice this tricky scenarios.
Okay, we'll have a call tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. and let's see. I'll just, we'll discuss in there and then I'll give you some suggestions. Is it fine?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, in that case, where I have see yesterday, or I can say Friday, we have seen the examples of filters. We had seen the examples of filter by a single column, filter by some like different examples of filters we have seen. Okay, which is this thing. I have shown you how to filter based on some particular column, and filtering the column starting with B only, and filtering on multiple conditions, a different syntax of filter, and then applying case when, like in the SQLs we have case when. So the same replica of those in the PySpark we can create like this. Okay, so these things we have seen. Now I am going to show you some other applications such as working with the columns of PySpark. So I already have this countries data frame with me in my notebook that I have gone through and read it like with the same process. Okay, same codes I have actually kept in every file. So whenever you start, you just need to run the from statements and you have to execute the countries schema part. Okay. And yes, so once I have read my data frame and I have got my data frame, if you want to select some of the few columns, okay, then you can just simply say countries df dot select. Okay, right now you can see I have various of columns in my data frame, and if I just come down and if I execute this code and I apply a show function, and this time I'm just going to say 5, execute this, I will be able to see 3 of the columns from my data frame. This is same as I am saying select name, population, region ID from countries table like that, and limit 5 because I am saying so. I am saying show 5. That's why it is limit 5 only. Okay. Then example, I can also do a select call. It is same thing, but this time I am referring my columns using call function, and output is going to be same. Only difference between these two syntaxes is on this one I cannot apply any sort of functions. Okay, I cannot apply any sort of transformations when I select directly using the column names that I have in my data frame. But when I use call functions, I can just go ahead and do some transformations also. Okay, using call functions or using the data frame and then the name of the column, I can do some transformation. So I am just going to limit it to 5 only. Okay, these are the two examples of selecting the wanted column from a complete data frame. Then this is what I was saying, that we can actually add or apply some little transformations on our data frame column if I use call or data frame name then the column name. If I use this sort of syntaxes, I can say alias country name. That means name of the columns I can change and some small changes I can make. Those I'm going to show you. So if I just say again show 5, you can see I'm getting my name as a country name from my data frame. So if I refer this with a SQL thing, so I am saying select name as country name from countries limit 5. This is what I am saying in this query. So few variations of selecting the columns here. Then I could have also used the with column thing. Okay, so here this time I am saying select name as country name, population as population, and actually it should be like this. Population as country population. I am selecting two columns, but I am also saying on the output apply with column renamed a function of PySpark and change my column name from name to country name. Same way I am applying one more with column rename to convert my population into country population. Okay, if I display is not going to work here, it's a show command. Execute this. You can see I'm getting two columns, but this time with a different aliases. So I could have also said alias, or I'm also having the option of with column rename. So two different options I had here. Okay, so these are the few examples of selecting the columns. Then let me just take a few more. This time I am saying that you have to apply with column, but I am not selecting any existing column of my data frame. I am taking the current date from the system. That's why I am saying I want my country's data frame, but this time I'm not saying with column rename. This time I'm saying with column only. So with column in PySpark is a function that can help you generate new columns. Okay, new columns can be of any sort of data type, and their condition and their logic can be versatile. So for this example, I am generating a current date. So in this syntax is sort of, first I have to give the name of my column that I want to generate. So this time I want to generate current date column. How I want to generate? What is the logic for that? Logic is I want the current date. So this current date here is a function. Okay, this is a function of PySpark that is going to give me the current date of my system, and this is my column name. Okay, if I execute this and say show, then I'm going to get my complete data frame, but one more current date is going to be added. To view it easily, I'm going to take my it into Notepad++. Here you can see I have got current date function, current date column added in my data frame, and it is showing me my system's current date. Then let's see one more example of with column. So when you want to add random, or you can say when you want to add, actually not random, when you want to add a static value to a column that you are going to generate. So let's say this time I am saying updated by, okay, I'm just adding an name of the person who updated the data frame. Let's say I want to do this. So I am creating a column named as updated by. This time the logic for the value of column is simply hard coded value. To do this or to add any static value to your data frame, we use a function called lit. Lit stands for literal. This means this literal JALAJ or my name, I'm just going to add in the data frame for all the rows, and it's going to be treated as a column name as updated by. If I add this, and if I take this data frame with me, now I also have the column as updated by, and my name is going to show on all the rows. Okay, and then same thing, okay, exact same thing. I can also do it like this. I can create one variable. I can create one variable, and let's say I create a variable name as a name Jalaj, and I can create and use that variable here in the literal. So this time I have hard coded my variable, but you could also generate or create this variable dynamically, get the username or any other options you could have done here, and then you can add that into your data frame for all the rows using a lit. So if I run this and show you the output, you can see this column has been generated successfully. Now, one interesting thing you might have noticed that I added my name here, this column as updated by, and I did the same thing here. But if I take the last data frame also that I have got, you can check it is having only one updated by. And one more thing, like I have added the current date into my data frame, but I cannot see that in the next data frames, because to modify the data frame, okay, to modify the data frame, like I have added the date function here in the country's TF data frame, but to modify this I have to assign it back again like this. If I do this, in this case only, my country's data frame is going to be modified. If I don't do it, I will be able to see the operations on the dashboard, but my existing data frame is not getting modified. And this is true for all the commands or all the codes that I have written below also. This one also, I'm just doing a show and it is not modifying my data frame. So this kind of options you can just do to verify the results. Once your results are verified and they are like you are fine with those, then you can modify the data frame also. But during the time of modification, you cannot have show of at the end. So you have to remove this. If I execute this, and then again, if I execute this show, and if I take my data frame now, okay, you can see now I also have current date and I also have updated by. So these are the few examples of selecting the columns, adding new columns into your data frames. And do not worry, these are just the starter things. In the final project, we have a much more complex logic to adding some new columns. But yes, before that, if you have any questions about these things, starting from here, you can let me know.
Jalaj, is the way every time if we want to add a new column to a table or data file, with column?
Yes, it is with column. So again, I'm repeating. First argument is the column name that you want to generate. Second is logic. Logic can be varying as per your requirement. So this time for this one, I needed the current date. So I said the current date function. For this one, I wanted to, update my name on all the rows. I wanted to add a hard coded value on all the rows. So I did lit. This is one more example where I want to do some mathematical calculation. So I am saying from countries data frame, refer to population column, okay, and divided by 1 million and just call it population in, okay. So like this, you can actually generate the columns. You can do division, addition, multiply, some logics you can achieve with the with column.
Okay. Actually, like, okay, this is ongoing data process and transformations. We can add a single if required additional column, but if it is completely a new task, it's already existed data, and client is only asking add one or two columns, new columns to the existing data. Whatever the files are there in the folder, suppose 100 files are there partitioned by. We, in all the files, we need to add one new column, one or two new columns. What is the procedure then?
See, okay. What happens? See, this time I am reading the data from a individual file. Okay. If I remove this countries.csv and if I just refer my folder, okay, if I just refer my folder tables, inside the tables, whatever the file numbers are there, let's say we have thousands of files, and if they share the same schema, I can read them in a single data frame, and then I can modify those like this. So basically what I'm saying.
Are we discussing in the later classes processing multiple files?
Yes, we are doing. Actually, I have the example here of grouping and joining here. Okay, so we are going to come on this one also. Maybe not today because I have a class at 10 p.m. I have to join. See all the joins inner, left, right. So we are going to come on this page also.
Okay, yeah.
And see, multiple files means, see, first of all, we have to understand one
right,
thing.
Right.
No. Okay, sorry. What I'm saying here is, I'm saying multiple files has, like, there are two kind of multiple files. One is I have of number of files for same schema. Right now, if I go in my S3, okay, and let me check the location where from I am reading this. And I am reading this from my data engineer code, sale data. So this is the folder I am reading. Okay. So right now this folder is only containing the one file. Okay. No. I'm not definitely not reading this file. It's not sale data folder. Just a second. I think I was just got confused. This is the file I'm reading, countries folder. So you can see I have right now I just have one file inside the folder. Okay. And I'm referring the folder here. Okay. I'm not referring to the exact file. So if I have inside the folder multiple copies of this countries file, like that means in important thing here is if I open this file in an CSV, so if I have multiple files inside the same folder and if they share the same schema, I can simply read it with this syntax only that I have on my screen here. This command is going to read all the files inside the countries folder. I am not reading an individual file. That is one way of saying multiple files. Another way of saying multiple files is that I want to read different files of different schema, and then I want to maybe join those. Obviously, if I'm reading different files, the AND region could be joining those things. So those joins and transformations we are going to see.
Okay.
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 So yes, if you have any more questions about the select statements and the with column, you can let me know. And with column, you can do multiplications, some mathematical logics, some replace transformations, or some substrings. Those kind of options we can achieve here. And this with column, you can if I refer this with equal, you can say you are saying select a star from table, then comma. So okay, we are saying select star, comma, current date as current date from countries. This is what I'm saying in this line. Okay, this line I am saying select star, comma, updated by as select star, comma, Jalaj as updated by from countries data frame. Here I am saying select star, comma, population divided by 1 million as population in million. So in sequence also we add columns based on conditions. So same thing I am doing here. And then I have the operations for changing data types of columns. So if I go ahead and I can make changes in my data frame. So right now, if I just come down and if I execute, you can see I'm able to see the schema of my schema of my data frame. Okay, and you can see it here. Region ID I have in the format of string, or you can say all the columns right now I have in the form of string. So let's say I want to convert this population in a integer. So how I can do it? I am just going to take this line and just going to say integer type. And before saying this, I will need to import the types from my SQL type. So I just missed that. I'm going to do it here only on this data frame, on this cell itself. Now I have my integer type here. Okay, you can see it. This is what it was missing. If I execute this, I need to execute this first, then this integer type. Yes, listing is there. Now you can see my data type that has been returned by this command is as a integer. If I modify this data frame, okay, and if I just remove the d types, now my data frame has been modified. And again, if I execute the same print schema command here again, you can see my population has now in integer type. And as I am saying, select only the country's population, that's why it has only one column now. Okay, this is the reason that now I only have one column. So like this, using the cast operations, we can change the data types of our columns in the data frames. So if you have any questions about these operations, and same way, so obviously name column I cannot change in the integer type. This is going to give you the error. Because if some column has a English character or special character, or you can say in easy language, if some column has other than numbers, you cannot convert that column into a integer type. You are going to get null for that. Okay, and then let's say I want to drop some columns. Okay, if I want to drop or delete some columns from my data frame, for that I can simply say countries data frame and drop population. It's going to drop this, and you can see now my data frame is empty. When I executed this operation, I just got one column, and now I have no column left in my data frame. So drop is going to delete the column from your data frame. Okay. So these are the few examples of working with columns. If you have questions about this, ask me. Otherwise, I'm going to move ahead with the string functions.
Line number 22 and 24, the same way we are writing for fetching a particular column, but why we are using call?
This is the, you can say, some functionalities available in Spark. That's why I have shown you the both the ways. Nothing much difference is there. So call is actually there to refer the column in the data frame, and for this you have to import the call. And if you just want to select the columns, you can actually also use this this one.
Yeah, instead of using call, we can use the f string also, right? F string.
F string.
Yeah.
F string, no. I mean, you can create something like this. If you want to read this, if you want to make this select statement dynamically, so maybe you can say something like this: query equals to. Okay, then you can create your F string, which starts with obviously it has to have call. Then this will not be there. You will add this, and you will give the column name as a variable. Plus, and then you will have to have the closing braces. Like this, you can create a string and you can pass it in on here. But obviously, that is not a very good option, because in the code we will not like to do it like this. If we can pass the column names like this directly, why to create a one more F string and write a complex F string there.
Okay.
F string actually a function of Python that can create a dynamic string for you.
Right.
Line number 43, there is D types is used. So D type is using for determining the type of that column.
No. So this D types, like in all the other commands, I was showing you using the dot show. Dot D types means it returns the data frame type. So if I again read my data frame, so right now I have modified my data frame to make it empty. But if I again read my data frame, okay, I have gone through it, and if I say countries dot D type, it's D type or D types S is also there. Return me the data types of my columns. Like print schema or D types is a kind of a same operation, but here I see in the format of a kind of a listed format, and here I get that same information in this format.
Okay.
Okay, then let's look into string functions. So we already have this countries data frame with us. It's the same way, same all the codes I have actually pasted here. So let's say I want to make one of my column into upper one. So I can say it like this. I'm just going to come at the last. and let's say I want to convert my name of the country into uppercase, I can just do it like this. You can see I'm getting upper name as the name is here, and obviously I can also do dot alias if I'm not wrong, and call it a name in uppercase. This should be this like this. Upper alias name. Then I need one more bracket. Yes. So you can see it. I'm getting a column name as alias also, and I'm also able to make my column as a uppercase also. Then if I want to get the length of my column, that means the how much character I'm storing, I can do it using the length function. So this is going to give the length. It should give me length. Okay, I need to apply show. This is going to give me the length of my particular column. So, in the name column, every row has a different country name. That's why I am seeing different result for this. So for my column, every row, how much character they are storing, I'm going to get using the length function. Then, if you want to concatenate two string, so for those I have this syntax, and for this I think I need to import SQL functions. All the SQL functions I need to import, because concatenate is not a by default available. Okay, and see one more thing, like here also I have imported from SQL function I have imported call, and here I'm importing star. So star means whatever we have in the SQL functions of PySpark, my code is going to import those all the things, and I no need to import them separately. But if I do a separately, like see, first I'm importing call, then I'm importing current date, then I'm importing late. I could have also gone ahead and said the import star, but that is not actually a very good practice. Okay, so sometimes the very strict leads in development, they do not prefer this, because this is going to make your code heavy. If we are importing each and every library from the repo, then that is going to make the code heavy, and it might take some more time in execution. So if you want to keep your code light, just import the required libraries. So yes, I was going to show you the concatenate statement. I can say show here, and you can see I'm importing, and now see I have concatenate my name of the country. That means if I refer to my file, my name column and the country code column I'm appending into a single column. Okay, I could also say here dot alias and say country with and like this I can rename my column. So now it's easy to understand that I have concatenated my country name with country code name. Okay, this is how we can concatenate the two columns in PySpark. And the function that I have used here is concatenate WS. That means with separator. That means first argument we have to pass a separator here. That means like how we will like to keep these two columns separated in the final output column. So basically I am saying separate my column output with a space. So you can see after Afghanistan I have a space there, and then I have AFG. I could also go ahead and say a hyphen here, and if I execute this, then you can see this time instead of space, I have a hyphen here. So how we will like to do the final concatenation, that we can define here. If you don't want any spaces, simply want to concatenate, just remove this and execute this. You can see there's no space now. It's just a simple concatenated string. Okay. And one more thing that I was saying on the Friday's class, that output when I do show function, my results are actually truncated. So if you see, this is truncated result. I just see Antigua and Barbu and then 3 dots. That means still there's some strings or characters in this row, but those has been truncated. So if I just come here, okay, if I just come here and just say truncate equals false, this means I don't want a truncated output in the show command. If I execute this, now you can see my complete string has appeared on my output. So this is actually not for a production, just for the development side. Whenever you want to verify the output results and you are not able to see those completely on your data frame output, and that will happen to you most of the times, then you can use this truncate equals false option. Okay, and yeah, that is all for the string functions. And like any other programming language, we have all the string functions here, such as upper, lower, capitalize, all substrings, concatenate we have already seen. So like those, we have more functions available in the PySpark. Those, if you want to refer, I have already given you the website name, Spark by Examples. You can refer that. If I say substring in PySpark, again remember, don't say Spark, always say PySpark. If you say Spark only, you might see some Scala codes also. Okay, so you can see it like this, and you can see multiple ways of doing those things. You can see on this PySpark Spark by Examples website. So you can see definition they have mentioned here. We have to give the string and position, and then length we have to pass. And if I want to do, okay, let me just remove this advertisements. And if I want to do substring, actually I have to do it like this. I can say I want to select this date and it's substring. So if I take it for an example, and if I paste it here, so I have to first call my country's data frame, then I will say this example, and let's say I have a name column. Okay, and I want substring on my name column only, and I want only first 4 character, and I'm going to call it short name. I can say show here, and I think I will need one more parenthesis here. So you can see I got my name column and I also got my short name column. So this is how I can do substrings. I have shown you this example by searching on Google, because this you will need to do a lot when you join your data engineering projects. Not everything, each and every syntax I can give in this classes. That's why I have just give you a very simple example how to look for these things online and accommodate those examples in your code. So yeah, this is all from my end for today. We are going to continue with our PySpark examples. Still, we are left with a group and join and some sorting operations and some other operations. Once we are done with these things, I'm going to give you data engineering theory classes about the use cases and some real-time work environment, and then we are going to continue with our technical parts. So yes, if you have any questions, please let me know.
Can you please share this script and the data set for the country.csv?
Yes, actually, I'm going to share it. Maybe by morning, actually, I will share it. This weekend, actually, I got busy. I could not, convert this code to easily work with you. I'm just going to put some more comments there and going to share it with you by morning for sure. Data set and the codes.
Okay.
This is actually not required. It's not going to work here on the notebook. Or maybe it could. Yeah, I'll check this because this is our tables is not available on the glue. But yes, if you have any other questions about the syntaxes that we have checked today, just let me know about this. Any sort of questions if you have. Okay, I mean, if I'm not getting any questions, we can close this. Okay, then we'll meet then again.